This is Sylvia Dana from eXp Realty in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and please join me now as I interview Ricky Carruth, a top agent from Alabama who makes $1 million in commissions each year and who has a special mission, and that is to help reduce the failure rate in the real estate industry with his free coaching program, Zero to Diamond. Here we go. And so I just want to thank Ricky for joining us. Ricky Carruth, you're awesome. We love you. And I know you don't need that, but it's nice to hear because you do give a lot. You know, I'm in my company, I give a lot too, and I like it when people tell me that they appreciate me. So we appreciate you. And so thank you for joining us. And so what we're hoping, what I was hoping that you know, I know you have tons of videos about your 90-day challenge and your 90-day action plan and your 28-day challenge. And just this morning, I watched like the first 7 days of the 28-day challenge. I'm like, wow, this is going to be awesome. But whoo, am I ready? And so, and you know, and I've been kind of getting ready to get ready for like a month and a half now with the 90-day challenge. And I'm just like, oh, maybe he'll just tell us how to do it better. Because, you know, you talk about, you know, don't focus on the results, but like I got my water with me, but I don't want to drink water. I just want to make $1 million a year. So anyway, so some people that are on here are familiar with the 90-day action plan. Some of them are very familiar with you and following you. Some of them not. So we got a mix. So we're all on here now. And do you, you know, if you want to ask them any questions, if you want them to ask you questions, go ahead. But the first thing I just want to start out with is I just want to tell you some things that I love about your mindset training. And that is just that there's abundance everywhere. Like there's plenty for all of us and there's no competition. I love that. I thrive off that. So, and then, you know, you talk about having that meeting with yourself. I want to know why that's so important. And the not focusing on results. So just maybe if you could just kind of, you know, start with yourself, whatever you want to start with, and we'll just take it from there.
I'll just start out by answering your question and then take questions from everybody else. So the meeting with myself is so important because, I mean, when else are you going to sit down and prioritize your day? You know, I mean, you have to take a second and just say pause and take a look at your business and decide what the most important things are. And then not only that, but what everything is. You know, like what is every little thing you need to think about and not forget about, you know, moving forward. These could be things that, you know, I have a schedule book that's 1 week per page. So you know, if I need to follow up with somebody next week or something like that, or, you know, Zoom call or something, I'm going to put that in my schedule book. So that's what's going to remind me to call people back or to, you know, go to this meeting or listing appointment or closing or whatever I'm doing. You know, so that's kind of how I keep track with things that are in the future. But what about today? You know, what are the most important things I need to accomplish today? So, you know, for me, it's like this ongoing list of people I need to follow up with and new leads and things of that nature. Also to-do items, you know, just things I need to do. So for a new agent, you know, it's like me, my days are completely booked, you know, from the moment I wake up to go to bed. Every day is completely booked. Every second of the day it's calculated. Everything that I do is for a reason. Every minute is maximized to the highest extent for efficiency. And, you know, I understand the trickle down effect of certain activities. You know, it's like certain activities don't seem like much when you do them that day, but compounded over time end up being huge over the course of 6 months or a year, or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. And so I understand what those activities are, and I'm willing to spend a lot of time on those activities, even though I get no immediate results, knowing that these are going to be the activities that get me where I want to be. So for a new agent that doesn't have a booked schedule, you know, it's like phone calls the whole day, you know, like any downtime, you know, should be spent trying to build your database. However you build your database, whatever your avenue of database, you know, building is, you have to decide what your avenue is, what you think's most efficient. Maybe you're at the stage where you're trying a bunch of different things to figure out what avenue you want to take to build your database. But wherever you are, I think at the end of the day, it's just to stay busy all day, right? Never take a moment and say, what do I do? If you take a moment and say, what do? You need to fill that time. Let's just get on the phone, just call people. I don't care who you call, just call, just talk to people, see what's going on, see what you can do to help them. How are they doing? All that kind of stuff. It only leads to positive results. So, that's why the meeting with myself in the morning is so important, because it gives me a chance to kind of meditate, if you will, about my business, take a second to breathe, relax for a second, and really kind of get my wits under me before I really go hard. Because once I complete that list and I know what I have to do, and I have that little meeting with my assistant about all that to work together as a team to accomplish the goals, then I'm back to what I have to do personally to accomplish and to conquer the day. And I'm going hard. Now I don't have to think, right? I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I put it all on a piece of paper at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to think about, okay, what should I be doing now? What should I be doing here? What should I be doing there? I know what I'm doing all day long. Now I'm just going to go hard. I'm going to kind of be thoughtless. And now, like, I put all my thoughts on paper in the beginning. Now I can kind of relax that part and just go through the motions of absolutely, crushing everything on that list. So then at 3 o'clock, it's like, let's do another meeting with ourselves to kind of reevaluate before the day is completely gone. Because a lot of people get to the end of the day and they feel like there was something they should have did, but they forgot, they can't quite put their finger on it. Now they worry about that all the way till they go to bed. And the next day they're mentally drained. Whereas if 3 or 4 o'clock, you'll sit down again and take another 5 or 10 minutes and study everything that you did, check off some boxes, and try to figure out what the top 2 or 3 or 4 things you need to do before 5 o'clock to make your day complete. Then accomplish those 3 or 4 things, then get whatever else done you want to get done. You'll never get to the total end of your list. Your list is always going to continue over to the next day. But what are those top 3 or 4 things that have to get done? Who did you tell that you would call back about a property, or email somebody, or you needed to check on this or check on that, or, go here, do that. There's things that you have to be mindful about. It's really important to do what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it. And so that second meeting with myself just helps me make sure I'm not forgetting anybody for the day. And it also helps me forget about real estate when I go home, where I can actually relax without worrying that I forget something. I feel accomplished, and the next day I'm totally recharged and ready to roll. So that's why it's so important to me, and that's why it's part of my routine.
That's awesome. You know how sometimes when you skip over things that are just the most important thing, or you just rush to explain it when really it is the primary thing. If I could do that, because then if I don't do the meeting with myself, I do forget stuff. So thank you.
And I would love to hear questions. And if no one has any questions, then I can just ramble for a couple hours. But I think the most value is what are you guys having problems with? What are you having trouble with? And what can I help you, what can I help you with in regards to that?
So can we ask questions now, or are we chatting it up? Or
go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Ricky, what's up, man? Austin from Springfield, Missouri.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, dude. Hey, listen, I had a quick question for you. I know you don't do a whole lot of it because you're so busy, but I'm a newer agent, so I am having, pretty awesome success as far as working my geo leads. And I was just wondering what your follow-up strategy looks like with those.
Mm-hmm. Like for geo leads, once you connect with them, you mean?
Yeah. Like we do the weekly email. I traditionally will find them on Facebook. I'll send a picture of my business card after we chit chat and try to stay pretty close to following up. I was just wondering if you have any steps between that you take that kind of secures that relationship anymore.
Listen, let's talk about the philosophy behind it, and then I'll give you a few nuts and bolts. The philosophy behind it is great that you're asking that question and worried about it, but hear me when I say that at some point your business has to be about volume, right? Like large amounts, thousands of these people that you've gathered over the years, correct?
Right.
Okay. And whatever your system is, for us, it's a weekly email. That should be the foundation of your personal brand. That should be the very building blocks. Okay. That's the foundation of your house, let's say. And then from there, you can add other avenues of personal branding, but it has to start with the weekly email. It has to be consistent every week on the same day of the week forever. And they have to know that that email is kind of the pinnacle for you. And then from there, we can branch into Facebook ads and Instagram and postcards and, signs around town and billboards and radio ads and, all the different ways that you can advertise to continue building that brand, text messaging, occasional phone calls, all those different things, but it has to start with that weekly email. So that's just what I have observed. And so through that, that's the safety net on the back of your business. Whereas you built this personal brand where people call you. So when you build your personal brand big enough, so many people are calling you, right? If you build your personal brand the right way and to a large enough extent that you have such a volume of people that they call you. Now you're not in the sales business anymore. You're in the order taking bit. Like people are ordering, houses from you like they order hamburgers at a fast food place. That's the power of personal branding. And so you're doing everything right. You said you're sending a business card and, you're trying to follow up with them and all that good stuff. What'll end up happening, because you're such a grinder, is that you're going to continue going down this path where you're calling all these people and gathering all these emails and you're building this personal brand, and you're trying to follow up. But at some point, the levee's going to break and you're going to be so busy with just taking orders and helping people, repeat customers, referrals over referrals, people that never bought from you but talked to you on the phone and really liked you and got your email for 3 years. Like it'll all come together and you'll end up being so busy that you can't even worry about that anymore. You're just so busy closing deals. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, I like to do a personalized email as soon as I get through with that call session.
Okay.
It's like, and here's the email. Okay. Real simple. What I do is I write this email and then I copy and paste it on everybody else that I got their emails from that day in that same neighborhood, because I'm normally calling the same subdivision when I do a call session. So it's going to be like, hey, Mr. So-and-so, or hey, first name, or whatever you want us to do that. And it's going to say, thank you so much for your time on the phone today. Come down 2 lines. Here's a list of the active listings in your subdivision or closed sales or whatever. Give them a link, click here, hyperlink to like some market information. And then 2 more lines down, say, I'll stay in touch with you via email here. Let me know if there's ever anything I can do for you.
Okay. Yeah, simple enough. The reason I asked is I've added like 800 people to my database in the past like 3 months. So I just want to make sure I'm being, I don't want to make them feel neglected. So if we can maintain email and you think that's steady enough, then I'll keep on that game plan.
Back to the philosophy. You have to be okay. If you want to be a really top producer and you really want to take this thing to the moon, you have to be okay with losing a few here and there for the sake of more volume. You have to be more volume minded. Like you have to find the balance between, quality and quantity and customer service, but also building a huge volume of people who know who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the personalization and making them feel great and giving them all this value is great. But at what point are we going to be about volume? It sounds like you're there if you added 800 people to your database. Was that all from circle prospecting?
Majority of it. And then obviously the EXP, I've used some squeeze pages through Facebook and whatnot to generate some internet leads for free.
Okay.
So
Okay.
have a mix and match.
Okay. And those are good leads too, to put into your weekly email and to cultivate those into your personal brand. Those are people in your market who will buy and sell properties. And so it's good for you to continue building the brand with them too. No, it sounds like you're doing all the right things. Just hear me when I say the top producers know that because they do so much volume, they're going to lose a few crumbs.
Okay.
That's all in the name of producing more. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the saying how you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll never make everybody happy. I don't care how great of a person you are or how many people love you. There's always going to be somebody out there that doesn't like you for whatever reason. And it's the same philosophy here. It's like you are never going to do all the deals. You know, there's no follow-up system that's going to capture and turn every single lead into your client. There's nothing out there. So what we need to think about is what systems can we put in place that will at least capture what we feel could be the largest percentage of those potential clients to be our clients. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like we have it with the weekly email and the way that we value relationships over transactions. We're not being pushy. We're just here to help. I believe that philosophy, coupled with the weekly email and the phone calls, is the best system to capture that largest percentage of people to be our clients in the market.
Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it, man.
Can you speak to the fact that so many realtors, new realtors, go into this without realizing how long and how hard they have to work to actually generate income? Can you speak to how you would manage that in the beginning where, you know, there's all those things, nobody tells you how expensive it's going to be to get started. And, you know, it's hard to stay focused and do those things. What you don't want to be panicked, and you don't want to be, you know, have commission breath or whatever, but you need to start making money.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing though. You number one, you know, and I know where this is coming from, you know, this is recruiting. Number one, the expectations need to be set from the beginning.
Right.
If you watch my content, I tell you how hard it is. I tell you it took me 8 months to make my first sale. You know, I repeat that over and over and over again throughout my content. So I think the expectations need to be real, you know, is number one. Number two, if you'll find in my content, you know, very often, I tell people you need to have a job. You need to have your, to me, I'm a conservative person. You know, I didn't write a book until I'd sold 100 properties a year for 3 years before I decided, oh, okay, I think I have something worth sharing. You know, I could have done that book long before. I didn't hire an assistant. I didn't hire an assistant till I had 30 active listings. Something happened, but I didn't hire an assistant until I had 30 active listings. You know, I'm a very conservative person. So I believe that you should have a mechanism in place, AKA a job that's paying your bills until you start to get some momentum in real estate. That's just my thoughts. Like I want to be realistic. I don't want somebody to come into the business and just put all their eggs in this basket and all of a sudden, you know, we're going broke and now we're having to quit real estate. Now we're going bankrupt. It's like you waited too late. You know, it's good to have something, a mechanism in place, paying those bills where if it took you 2 years to get it going, you know what I mean? So I'm a big believer in setting the expectations where they need to be from day one. And, you know, this business, the thing is if you tell somebody new coming in the business that, oh, it's going to be so great, and, you know, you're going to make all this money, and they come in and they don't do what they need to do, and they end up having to quit the business. Well, the fact of the matter is that if you told that same person how hard it is and how much work they're going to have to do and how they're not going to make any money for 6 months to a year, you know, and they're going to have to invest money to get going and all the realities of the business, and that turns them away, they weren't going to be in the business either way in either scenario. So to me, I want workers, and all of you guys, you should want workers on your team. People that understand it's going to be hard work and they are up for the challenge. So don't be scared to tell a new agent how hard the business is going to be. You know, that's going to weed out the people that would have quit anyway. You know, they say 87% of agents fail. So
Sure. I just wish someone had told me. You know, I did enough research. But I mean, I closed. I was the first one on my, class to close a sale in less than 2 months. So I had a little bit of an injection, but, you just, there's really, I joke around, somebody needs to write a book like, this is what nobody tells you about real estate when you're starting out,
I wrote it. I wrote
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
It's Near the Diamond, and also there's another one called List to Last. Both of those books that I wrote tell my story and
Yeah.
what I went through. And the Zero to Diamond is more the beginning years and basics of the philosophy, and List to Last is more of when I lost everything in the crash and everything I learned through that moment.
Right.
Yeah, the book is written. So
Yeah.
I think that me continuing to go more and more and more mainstream, and I mean, I'm the guy, if you're saying, somebody needs to do something about this, I'm the one out there, in the street screaming, of how hard this business really is and what you have to do to really succeed without trying to blow smoke at everybody. So to answer your question, I'm doing the best I can.
Ricky, so can you go now, as people are talking about CRMs and stuff, you talk about your tools and your systems for, the 90-day challenge, let's say, or the 90-day action plan. Can you summarize those systems for us?
Yeah, sure. I don't have a CRM, like a CRM per se, like an official real CRM. And, part of that's because, I kind of got in the business before all these digital CRMs came to be and already had my systems in place. So I'm a little old school, but that just goes to show you that old school, anything works. Anything works. I'm more of a notebooks list kind of guy. Um, I, I tell you what makes me so dangerous, to be honest with you, and why I'm such a threat out there and so dominating is because I am the old school methods and new school methods kind of mixed together. And that's what I would advise for a lot of you is to, a lot of you younger agents, to adopt some of these old school methods, and some of you older agents to adopt some of the new school methods, because really when you mix the two together, that's when you really create a really dangerous agent. When you're able to utilize digital and you still have the communication skills, you still understand the hard work part of it, you still aren't scared to get on the phone. When you mix those two, that's when it takes your business to another level. But to answer your question, RedX is kind of it's God's gift to real estate agents. I mean, it's made my life 10 times. I do things 10 times faster now. I click a button, I get numbers. I click another button, it starts automatically dialing them. I can call 100 people in an hour and a half, where it used to take me 15 hours to look up all those numbers and dial them by hand. I can do 10 times more damage than I used to be able to do. So you guys could actually do what it took me 10 years to do. You could do that in your first year. I mean, it took me 10 years to get to 100 deals a year. Everybody knows the story of Quintavious Burdett, Mississippi. He just took everything that I do and he compressed it using RedX. He compressed it all into 1 year, and he did 100 deals his first year and made $500,000. He is direct proof and evidence that what I'm saying is true. You can literally fast forward your career by 10x, because that technology 10x's the time that you spend to communicate with people verbally. I believe voice to voice and conversation is the key to all closings. I don't care where you get your leads from. So if that's the key to all closings, why not just have as many voice to voice conversations as you can so that you can have as many closings as you can? And if we're doing that, let's be as efficient as we can and just call property owners who own the type of property we want to sell. Right. And those leads are only 2.5 cents. 2.5 cents versus Facebook leads are $3, $3 to $10. Google is, $5 to $20. Zillow is $1 to $300. I mean, it's ridiculous. And those leads are nowhere near the quality. So it's the most efficient thing to do. I don't care there's nothing you can tell me. I would love to hear debates about this, because there's just nothing anyone can tell me that is better than what I'm saying. So Remax is the key, I believe. And then constant contacts is what I use to send my weekly email. And you guys save $150 on Remax going through 0 to Diamond. So that gets you a little jump start. And you can start a free trial with Constant Contacts if you don't have an email system. But it doesn't matter what dialer you use. It doesn't matter where you get your phone numbers. It doesn't matter what you use for your weekly email. I'm just saying, go do it. Use my scripts, use my philosophy, build your business. So in my Constant Contacts, it's not like a CRM. It just has people's emails. I don't know their names and stuff. There's 12,000 people there getting my weekly email. 2,500 open it up every week. That's not even the most interesting part. 2,500, another 2,500 aren't opening it up that will in 3 years when they get ready to buy or sell something, and then they'll call me. So I don't look at open rates. I don't look at unsubscribes. I never look at that. I'm just not concerned with it. I'm more concerned with just doing the work, doing the weekly email, and just being consistent.
There's more questions.
Somebody needs to mute their
Yeah,
thing.
sorry, it's probably me actually, because I got people that just came in here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So somebody asked, what is the 3.0 with the Q interview?
They're going to bring Q back on to make live calls. That'll be the next thing we do with Q. And
awesome.
that will be sometime in the next month. We'll set that up.
Ricky, I'm on honor your time, and we only have 15 more minutes. And so I guess in this 15 minutes, if you were going to tell somebody, besides like go to your 90-day action plan to look at what it is, go to the 28 days challenge and look at what it is and do it. How would you motivate or help somebody who was just struggling to make that work and the time blocking? How would you help them put that in a package and just start doing it? Because so many of us are results focused. So
Yeah.
how do we get away from that?
Well, I mean, I've already put it in a package. I've already done that, and I can't help you do it. If you're not going to do it, I can't help you if you're not going to do the work. There's an agent that reached out to me, and he just won't get on the phone because he's so stubborn that he feels like that all I'm doing is telling people to go create relationships for the future. And he's like, I need, business now. How do I get people to do deals with me now? And I'm like, you have to get on the phone. You're going to find people that want to do business now, and you're going to find people that want to do business later. But you have to communicate. You have to talk to people. You have to, do the work and be willing to go through the people that aren't ready now, that will do stuff later, to get to the people who do want to do business now. Quintavious sold 100 properties his first year. He dialed 200. He did $200 a day. $200 a day, and sold 100 properties in his very first year with no assistant. He's a freak of nature, of course. I get it. Okay. But still, it's like, look what's possible. But this agent just keeps on. He's been doing this for years with me. And I'm like, man, listen, if you would have just started doing what I'm telling you to do last year, and we had the same conversation, you would be closing so many deals right now you can't even see straight. It's really wild the way a lot of people think, and a lot of their mindset going into a lot of this stuff is really kind of, I don't know, it really has me, it really opens my eyes up to how different people are, and how how people hold themselves back. And so I think that's what it kind of boils down to is are you going to hold yourself back? Or are you going to trust the process? You're going to look at all the other people that have succeeded. That's what's so great about real estate. There's so many people at the top, for you to look at and say, wow, like, look at all those people that are succeeding. You know, if they can do it, I know for a fact that I can do it. You know, so there's just so many people up there succeeding that it's like, if they're doing it, then I know it's possible and I can do it too. Okay, where's the roadmap? You know, where's the blueprint? And so I have my blueprint out there, what I would do if I were a new agent, right? And it's really hardcore because I'm a hardcore person. Like, I used to work on an oil rig or roofed houses. I make $1 million a year selling properties for 4 years in a row. And I'm a little extreme, but that's how you have to be. If you want to get to these places, you can't just lollygag and not do stuff and question yourself and question the process and worry about this and worry about that and expect to get where you want to be in life. You know, if you're wanting to be somewhere, at a really high level, it's just not going to happen. So I really can't help people that won't take the steps to do what they need to do. And I already have it packaged up for you, and I'm always available. I'm always on Instagram answering all those messages. And so if people have questions, that's kind of the hub of where you can reach out to me. And if you're having problems or this or that. So it's a full-fledged coaching program where I give you the blueprint. I'm here for questions. And when you finish the 90 days, we get on a call. And all this is completely free, right? So I don't know what else I can do. I really don't. I mean, you tell me. I just, somebody speak up and tell me, what else can I do?
No, you're absolutely doing it. And like I said, I watched the first part of all your 28-day challenge videos this morning. I've watched them before, but I actually watched them like the first 7 of them this morning, and I'm like, I am so excited. You did put it in a package. You're going to do an open house this day, and then you're going to do a live video from the house this, and then you're going to door knock on 10 doors. I mean, I'm just like, yes, this is it. It's awesome. So some people have some questions. People are asking, somebody asked about outsourcing calls. What do you think about that? Another person said this is a hard mindset for them because they know they are holding themselves back. Just the normal stuff we all struggle with.
As far as outsourcing calls, that's always a nice debate. I'm pretty strongly in the belief that with the dialers a day, you can make so many calls yourself. I think it's better that you make the calls if I have to answer the question, because they're getting to know you as opposed to someone else. I mean, we're here to build our personal brand, and each deal is worth 5 to 10,000 in commissions, 20,000, 15,000, depending on what all market you're in. So it's very lucrative. Every relationship you create could be worth potentially 10 to 20 deals, repeat business, referrals of referrals. And, it's like, what do you can't be any more efficient than using a dialer and calling 200 people in 3 hours and then doing what you need to do the rest of the day. So I would say that, yes, you can outsource the calls. You just have to really train that person really well. They have to understand your philosophies. They have to be really good on the phone. They have to, really be really good. And I think it'd be really hard to find one of those people, but it can be done and it can be effective. So I believe it's better to call yourself, to be honest, just my 2 cents. And as far as the mindset being hard, I mean, you have to ask yourself, do you really want it or not? And do you have a family? Like, are you trying to take care of your family? Are you providing for your family? Because, if you have a family and you need to do certain things and you don't do them, then, to be, I hate to say this because it sounds harsh, but it's just downright selfish. You know what you need to do, but you're not doing it because you don't want to. You don't want to give a better life to your family. You don't want to provide, a better life for your family. That's the way you have to look at it. And then you have, at that point, once you realize that, then you have to put all your feelings aside and say, wait a minute, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody hang up on me? I mean, I don't know what's so bad, right? And I mean, what's worse, somebody hanging up on you, or not being able to provide the best life for your family possible. Right? So what's worse, right? Somebody hanging up on you, are you having to work really hard, or you not providing the type of life that you want for your family? You know, it really kind of boils down to that. And you have to decide that now you have to make a decision. Do I care about being hung up on and working hard? Or, you know, do I want this fabulous life for my family? And then you make a decision which way you want to go, you know? So whatever decision you make is going to tell us a lot about who you are as a person. So, I mean, I know agents that contact me and reach out, they're about to go foreclosed. They're about to go bankrupt. You know, they're about to go bankrupt and they won't make a phone call. Their family is about to lose their house. They're about to foreclose on their house. And I'm like, they're like, what can I do? You know, I'm getting foreclosed on in 2 weeks. What can I do? And I'm like, how many calls are you making? They're like, I'm not making any. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you call me like 6 months ago so I could tell you to start making calls to build your business, you know, to get some momentum going to boom, you know, not foreclosing your house and have your family have to live in an apartment or something, or move in with mom or dad or whatever. It's just really crazy, the things that I see out there and how far people are willing to go to try to avoid being uncomfortable, to try to avoid, you know, hard work, to try to avoid, you know, the things that, you know, scare them, I guess. But, you know, at the end of the day, none of those things are worth more than providing a better life for your family. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just try to do the best I can do to make people understand that, and hopefully they make the right decision and they move forward and do the things that they know they need to do, because that's the bottom line. Like, they know they need to do it. They already know what they need to do.
We do know what we need to do.
Yeah.
So, but and again, I just want to encourage everybody that's asking, that hasn't really dug into what is the weekly email and what is the 28-day challenge. I keep posting it in here. You guys, you have to dig through it because it is.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Here, let me post. This is the best actual link right here. Let me go. Let me do this. 0 to diamond.com/sign-up. Okay, that takes you to the actual sign up page where you can actually sign up and then go to the course. Inside the course is a lesson on Ricky's weekly email where I screen share my computer and talk about the philosophies and build an email from scratch, exactly the way I do mine every single week. There's videos of me making calls. There's the scripts. There's the 28 days. What else is in there? All the lessons, how to use Remax to find phone numbers, and just all the different things that I do in my business is all right there in that course. And then, of course, there's the 90-day action plan, which includes the 28-day challenge, which the 28-day challenge is actually a video that gets texted to you, a link to a video that gets texted to you once a day for 28 days, giving you your challenge. So don't be scared.
Yeah, no, I love it. I have to tell you, so I have dabbled with your weekly email for a couple months. Then I got serious and I did my first weekly email last week with Constant Contact. I just did exactly what you said. And then I did it again this weekend. I loved how many responses I got. I got responses, people telling me you're my go-to person and they don't even know me. And that proved it to me right there. So I just want to throw out there. So I am excited. I'm so excited. I'm not scared anymore. Joy's saying she is scared, but I am not scared anymore. I'm like, this is exactly like, you know, when you're finally ready for something, you know, you really feel it. Like, I'm finally ready for it. And,
Yeah.
and I think because you were introduced to me about 6 months ago, and I kept watching and like, circle prospecting, no, I don't know, you know, but I'm finally ready for it. And so I appreciate that. And so I'm glad a lot of people here are now newly introduced to you actually. And I think this is what they've been needing. And again, I don't know what it is about you that makes you package it so neatly for some people, because it's so simple and it's so truthful and it's so relatable. So that's why I think, but yes, thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions, or do you want to say anything, Ricky?
I just want to say thank you guys, and I'm really proud of you for just just not quitting. I mean, that's the biggest thing. As long as you're just moving forward, it doesn't matter if you're producing or not. As long as you're moving forward and learning, that's the main thing. That you're just getting just a little bit better every day. At the end of the year, you may sell 3 properties, but what doesn't show up on the stat sheet is the lessons you learned, the communication skills you picked up, the relationships with people that'll do deals with you next year, the year after. All that stuff is worth a lot of money, but it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It doesn't show up on your tax returns, but it's worth so much. So I want you to stop concentrating so much on just that end result of closings and start to realize there's a lot more to your accumulation of wealth through the year. It's the lessons you learn. It's the communication skills. All the phone calls you made got you a little bit better every day at making calls and communicating with people and learning how to talk and learning, people's, different tendencies and how this game really works. And, the lingo, you'll start to learn the lingo better. You'll start to learn better words. You'll start to tweak what you're doing. You'll start to breathe better when you're calling. All these things are worth so much money. And on top of that, even if you suck at making calls, if you make calls, you're going to get some people that like you. There's so many personalities out there. I promise you, I don't care how introverted you are. I'm introverted. I don't talk to anyone when I'm in public about real estate. I don't want anybody to talk to me about real estate when I'm in public. I don't wear a name tag. I don't have my car isn't wrapped. I'm trying to hide when I'm out there because I'm an introverted person. I don't want to talk about it, so if you are, trust me, I am too, right? But look at where I am. So just know that it doesn't matter what personality you are, everybody can succeed. And, you just have to put the work in and trust the process. So, just keep pushing, keep learning, realize that those lessons you're learning and those relationships you're creating and those weekly emails that are going out are building up to something really, really big. You may not see it this year, you may not see it next year, but I promise you, you're on the road to something really big. So just don't stop.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys, we're going to honor Ricky's time. It is 11:45 Eastern time. I know this was short and sweet, but I hope those of you who were not introduced yet to the 90-day action plan, the 28-day challenge that you started it here, you checked it out here and you're going to dig in now. And Ricky, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, actually. I feel it with you. I'm relating to you, and I feel like, just as certain people can speak things into your life and they don't even know they're doing it. You did it. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to do it. I just want to help just raise the industry up and help you guys succeed. So anything in the world that I can do, I don't charge a dime for anything. I answer all my Instagram DMs. You guys go to YouTube as well, subscribe there, and just like I say, just keep up with me. The market is going to shift at some point. And I'm going to be right here helping you through whatever shift that is, because I know how to handle a shift. I went through the crash. I went through an oil spill that hit my area, and it was a little mini crash. And I've just been through a lot. So I know how to handle these situations. And that's really where I'm looking for to really shine, is when the market does decide to change. I'm going to be the guy out here screaming, exactly how to handle those situations. So you guys just keep following along. I'm leading by example. I'm still selling 100 properties a year. So I'm never going to stop selling, and I just want to help you guys. So I appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys next time.
Thank you. Thanks.